How's it going, everyone? My name is DrapPep, and welcome back to a brand new installment of Drap Chat. I hate, and I do mean hate, when movies require you to do homework just to understand what's going to happen in the next movie. The trailer that they just dropped for that movie, you're gonna have to do a little bit of homework just so you understood any of what you just saw in that trailer. Or what's going to happen in the movie. Not just watching previous movies, by the way. No. But what I'm referring to is when there's video games that are tied to the movie. And you gotta play those video games because those were canon events in those video games that are going to play a part in the next movie. Or when you have to read a book because there's characters in those books that will be in the next movie. Or you gotta read comics because, well, the comics explain the origin story of those characters. Marvel is a great example of this. Marvel has so many other movies, shows, books, comics, video games. They all play in to the Avengers movies. If you want to know what's going to happen to those Avengers movies, well, you're gonna have to strap down and start getting into it, aren't you? I'm not talking about normal sequels or sagas, by the way. If it's a series, it makes sense to watch the previous movies, like Fast and Furious. If you want to know what's going to happen in the next Fast and Furious movie, well, you just got to do a movie marathon. You're good to go. Granted, great. All right, well, there are a lot of Fast and Furious movies. All right, true. But you just watch those movies and you're going to know what's going to happen in the next movie, or at least have an idea. What I mean is when a movie is connected to a show, and another separate movie outside the main series, and a book that the next movie is actually going to be based on. Oh, you thought this movie was going to be a sequel to the other movies? No, this is going to be a sequel to the book. To the book. Yes, sorry. You should have read the book. That goes in between these two movies. So now the next movie isn't really a sequel to that. It's just going to be a sequel to something else entirely. Sorry. I hope you like reading. You're going to have to read that book awfully quick because that movie's coming out pretty soon. When I try to explain an upcoming movie to friends or family, it sounds like a conspiracy theory. It feels like I'm connecting everything with red strings in my basement. I have to explain multiple movies, shows, video games, comics. Sometimes it feels like I need to explain 15 to 20 different things before I can even talk about the movie itself, before I can even touch on the movie plot, before I can even go, oh, great. Okay, now that you understand those concepts, now I can tell you what's going to happen in this movie. Let's say I just want to watch a movie like the next James Bond. All right, hypothetically here. Let's say I'm going to watch the next James Bond. But before I can, I have to watch another franchise. Because, like Mission Impossible. Because that character might actually show up now. They're now connected. Hypothetical. They're now... That would actually be awesome if they were connected. But now you got to watch all these Mission Impossible movies. You got to watch them all. Because you want to know the character. You've been watching James Bond all this time. Well, now, Mission Impossible is connected, so now you got to understand these characters because they're going to be in the next James Bond movie. Then you got to read the book because it appears for a few seconds in the film. And if the director just said, oh, well, you have to read this book because this is going to tie into the movie. It's probably going to be in there for like maybe 10, 20 seconds at most. At that point, it stops being entertainment and starts feeling like homework. Like you just got homework assignments. You want to enjoy this movie? Yeah. Too bad. Too bad. You're gonna have to watch everything else just to be caught up. Unless it's something I'm already invested in. I'm not going to do all of that. I'm not. I'm already liking a franchise. I'll keep up with it. But if someone tells me, read multiple books, play a game, watch a long list of movies and shows, I'm not going to do any of that. Are you kidding me? I already have my own franchises. I don't need yours. I'm already struggling to keep up with mine. I can't take on anymore, man. I'm already falling behind on Marvel and DC Comics and Star Wars. I'm already falling behind on Doctor Who. Oh my god, Doctor Who is a definite problem. All right, there's a lot of shows connected to Doctor Who that sometimes I don't even know about until much later. And then by the time I finish those shows, those things that I saw in the show start making a lot more sense all of a sudden. Yeah, that sucks. I hate that. There's a massive connected universes are cool. All right. It's great that people can dive deep into them, but not everyone wants to level of commitment. Not everyone wants to jump through that many steps just to enjoy one movie. When I try to explain something like a Star Wars movie to anyone, honestly, friends or family, anyone, halfway through, people, I could pretty much tell they've stopped listening. They've tuned me out. They're no longer present for what I'm trying to tell them. By the time the movie comes out, they're confused. They don't understand what's going on. Not because it's complicated, but because no one wanted to do the homework. No one wanted to take the time to watch the shows I was referring to understand the comics I was talking about. A lot of times I will explain what happened just to, catch them up because I know no one's going to watch those, so it's better just to explain it. But because they tuned it out, now they have no clue what's going on. Not a single clue. Here's the thing. Here's a simple idea, okay? Movies should stand on their own. Huh? How about that for an idea? Movies should stand on their own. If it's a sequel, the only requirement should be watching the previous movies. That's it. Everything else, the games, the books, the comics should be, I don't know, extra content, expanded universe. Optional is what I'm saying. Not something that's required. Not something that you have to do. There's too many franchises that are doing this now. Where they're coming out with a new movie. And it's exciting. But you don't recognize those characters. And now you gotta watch a TV show. You gotta play a video game. You gotta read a book. You gotta read the comics that are connected to that character. Because everyone else did. And it's great if you do that. But if you're trying to join a new franchise, everyone's telling you should go see that next movie, and they're trying to hype it up. Okay, great. The moment you say, "Oh, wait, but before you do, you've got like 32 movies to catch up on and like maybe 5 different shows." I have friends who are not going to watch the next Avengers movie. They haven't really touched any Marvel movies. And so when they hear how many movies they have to watch, they're just not going to watch it. They don't want to do it. And I don't blame them. I'm kind of in the same boat with them on this. All right? Watching movies should feel like entertainment. It should be fun to watch the movie. It should not feel like I'm assigning people an assignment every time I try to recommend the next upcoming movie. I shouldn't have to feel like I'm trying to convince you that all this is going to work out in the end. Because sometimes, very rarely, okay, more than rarely, a lot of the times, actually, okay, almost all the time, it doesn't pan out the way that they hoped. I hype up the movie for them, they get excited, I tell them what they have to watch, and they kind of do it, right? They sit through all of it. It was a lot of information for them to take in, and then they watch the movie, and they look at me, and they go, "You've wasted my time. You've honestly wasted my time." But I thought you liked the movie. No. In fact, I haven't liked any of this. I just did it because you were excited, and I wanted to be a part of that, and you've honestly wasted my time. It happens. It happens a lot. It'd be kind of great if the movie would just simply be a movie. It'd be great if I could just tell them, just watch the last couple of movies and you'll be caught up. But more often than not, it doesn't work out that way. And whenever I try to tell somebody to join this next franchise, to enjoy this new movie that's coming out, I'm regretfully giving them homework assignment. I am. I'm giving them a mission, an agenda. You gotta watch so much. You're going to watch a lot. Star Wars is probably one of the worst ones to get into as of right now because of how much there is. Oh my god, there is so much to watch. If you're joining Star Wars this late in the game, you've got a lot to catch up on. A lot. I'm sorry, but you do. I just wanted to complain about this. All right, just kind of put my 2 cents out there. I hope that there's other people that kind of agree with me on this, because this is something I really do find frustrating with movies. And I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in.